Hello friends, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel, and I'm going to do a little, have a little craft with me today. So what I'm working with, this is Sherry, by the way. Just like charge right in here, right? But no, this is Sherry. My channel is Turquoise Dreaming, and welcome everyone, new, old, whatever. Thank you for being here. And yeah, I'm just having a casual, laid back, kind of Saturday today, and I have a little story to tell you. But let's get going on the crafting first of all. So a couple weeks ago, I sold a couple of, I think it was 4 packs of these types of little books. And I said, oh, I saved some for myself. So this is what I kept for myself to craft with. A little flower one. Had to do that, right? So here's the flowers. And then I think the rest of these are birds, but they're all kind of a little different. So this one came from this book cover here. It's a hardback cover. Like this one is paperback, the flowers, and this one is hardback. So I was like, I can make a little journal out of this if I want to. And then I have the pages. Today I'm going to work with the pages. I'm already working on this sewing. I'm still working on this sewing pattern journal, which I'm going to get back to. But today I wanted to go ahead and do this. So I think these are all from this book that I already took the cover apart. Here's another bird book, which I thought was really cool. All of these, of course, I found at thrift stores, but this one opens this way. This one looks, I mean, they're all vintage. This one looks like it might be the oldest one. Let's see. 19, just one second. 30, 41, or 19, let me see, 1010. Oh, I think 1961. I'm not sure. I hate to stop and try to figure that out on a video. I can read Roman numerals, but it takes me a second to do my adding and subtracting. That's how you figure them out, right? I had to take an allergy pill today. I didn't have to take one yesterday. So I was like, okay, it's May. Maybe the pollen is gone. And I didn't have to take one yesterday. And then I went out this morning, just ran to the post office and a thrift store. And my eyes were just, I was like, oh my goodness, I have got to get back home as fast as possible because my eyes were just really itching, and you know, all the nose and all that stuff that goes along with. So I was like, I got to get back home and take an allergy pill ASAP. So I did go through the thrift store and I got a couple things for this coming Thrifty Thursday. But I just wanted to go ahead and do a little crafting and do my video for today. On the weekends, I've kind of decided just to, you know, do whatever, not stress myself and like I have to have my video out at a certain time or anything. So I'm just, you know, kind of, you know, I have certain things that I need to do during the weekend. That's my days off from work, right? But I don't want to be on a schedule or anything like that. So I just do what I need to do when I have time to do it, right? So anyway, this is a super cute one. See how the pages are horizontal, and the little bird is here, and the description like these are like this. You know, I mean, I know you all have seen it before, but the bird is here and the description is down here. So I like that different orientation with this one. And this is a super cute little cover, hardback too, with, and this could be a little journal once I take it apart too. Maybe I'll do that. I probably will. And this is another paperback. So let's see. So this one is the paperback version of this hardback cover. Oh, and this one that I already took apart too, it had like that, this one here, it had, and it still might have some on there, but I tried to get it off, that like cellophane covering. It's still shiny, but I did try to peel it all off of here because it was starting to come off. And I was like, well, and I've done that with 1 or 2 other books where it had that cellophane covering. And you know, in order to still use the book, I just peeled the cellophane off and it's fine. It's still shiny under here. But right now it's good. Nothing's peeling off. And I think I remember, did I clean it? I probably clean it again before I make it into a journal. But anyway, here's the paperback version of this one. And I'm not going to take time to look up the copyrights. We're just going to get started crafting here. So I'm going to put these aside that I haven't taken apart because I have plenty of pages to work with in this one. So what I wanted to do, and the reason I'm not doing this on Tag Tuesday, is because I want to make some journaling cards and different orientations. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm just going to take these first few pages here are just text. So I'm not going to use those right now. I'll put those to the side. And oh, here's some I already took out actually too. I forgot. I already took these out. So, and took them apart so they'd be separated. Just a second. Just a second. I had a sneeze come on there rather quickly. I had to grab a tissue and sneeze. So I had to pause real quick. Oh man, I don't know why. I mean, I have a guess as to why, but I'm not sure if that's why the pollen is bad today. But believe it or not, I know you all know I live, and if you've been here for a while, I talk about I live in North Carolina. Well, last night, after I got home from work, last night was Friday night, so I get home from work and we start getting all of these. I think there was a thunderstorm warning before I left to work, right? So I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna have to drive home in a thunderstorm, and I have a 30 to 40 minute drive, so it is not fun driving home in the rain. I mean, sometimes if it's really bad, like just buckets are pouring down, people put on their flashers and they drive real slow, and it takes me a really long time to get home. Let's see which side I want. I want this side. So last night it wasn't like that. It actually didn't rain on my way home at all, even though we had like severe thunderstorm warnings. It did rain at my work for a little bit, but it stopped before I had to drive home. So I get home, and then we start getting all of these severe weather warnings, and I'm reading them. I'm looking at the radar. I'm looking at all the, information, and it says tornado warnings, and I mean, we've had a lot of tornado warnings, and of course I could take them seriously. So I looked to see where they were going to be, and they didn't say right here. They said my county, but they didn't say right here, because I kind of described in the radar looked like it was going to miss us. I was like, oh, it's going to miss us. And I was actually ironing some. I was working on, as we were watching TV, I was working on some sheets that I'm getting ready for my sheet bundles, right? And I have one sheet that it was a little wrinkled, and I didn't like how wrinkled it was, because most of the sheets don't even really wrinkle. But this one was wrinkled. I didn't like that, so I was ironing my sheets. And as I was ironing, we kept getting these warnings, tornado warnings. And like I said, watching where it was going, where they were going, where they're going to be. And it didn't seem like they were going to be right here. But as I was ironing my sheets, my sheet squares, like fat quarter shapes, it got, I don't know if I prayed. I don't remember if I prayed before it got windy or after it got windy. But all of a sudden, it got super windy outside. I mean, like severely, extremely windy. Like, because we live, we're surrounded by trees. So if you live in a place where you're surrounded by trees, it can get a little scary when it's really windy. I mean, if you go outside when it's really windy, the trees make all this kind of creaking noise as they're swaying or whatever. And the leaves and things are blowing. But last night it was crazy. Everything was blowing, and the leaves were just being blown off the trees. And it's like I gotta take care of my nose. So like this went on for about 5 minutes where it was super windy, and I prayed either before that or right during that time that the tornado wouldn't come and hit us or any of our, like my son lives down the street, so I prayed that we would all be safe and the tornado wouldn't come here to us, right? So there's one. I'm going to do some more while I'm finishing this story, and then I'll show you what I do next. But yeah, so I prayed, that prayer, and like I said, they weren't saying our town. They weren't saying it was coming to our town. They just said our county. And they named other parts of our county as this, like we're in a certain city or whatever in our county, and there's other cities in our county. So they're naming the other cities They weren't naming our city. So I, like I said, it got really super windy, and I was looking out. I could see the best out of our back of our house, out of the back windows, you know, out back. And I could see the wind blowing really badly, really severely, and like I said, and I could see the leaves blowing around. And they were blowing those, blowing like across, you know, not straight down, but across. But they weren't, nothing was in a circular motion. So I was like, well, I don't think there's a tornado here. I don't see anything circular. I looked up into the sky. I didn't see anything circular or that looked like a tornado. And just went on about my business, like hoping that, you know, everything was going to be okay. And then, you know, it stopped and just, it was raining for a little bit, but the wind was completely gone. Like the wind was only, and it hailed for, it said quarter size hail on the report, but we only got like pea size or smaller hail. So I was like, well, we got a little bit of hail, like two hails. You know, it was like hardly anything. I just saw a few drops on our deck out back, and I saw that wind, but nothing circular, nothing up in the sky. And so I went on about my business. And then a little later, we hear people start contacting us. Are you okay? You know, is everything all right? My friend texted me. Somebody else messaged me on Messenger. My son, who lives down the street, was out of town. He's like, is it my house okay? All this kind of stuff. I guess he heard or got warnings, and maybe on his phone all the way over there, or, you know, where he was. And my other son called, and I was like, well, what happened? And I looked up, I looked it up online on my phone, and sure enough, there was a tornado. And my husband at that time went out and checked out, drove around the street to see, and made sure my son's house was okay and everything. But sure enough, there was a tornado down the street. Like, I live on a dead end street, so down at the beginning where you come into our street, apparently a tornado had gone by that area and down one direction of our street and knocked down several trees. And our electricity blinked, but it did not go out. Well, it did go out, it blinked, but then it was back on right away. But I was thinking, oh goodness, you know, are we gonna be trapped here or what? But there were I don't know if anyone lost electricity like we didn't, and my son's house has electricity. And then but there was a tree blocking our road where you come into our road. So like no one could get down the road, and no one could get out last night. It was gone by this morning. And then let's see. And then my husband was, he went this morning. He drove last night. He saw we couldn't get out, all that kind of stuff. Saw the condition of our street. And then everything was fine past that tree that went down. Everything past, you know, down my way and down my son's way was fine, except there were just leaves everywhere. And but my husband went out this morning, and then there were several several trees down, like big trees, little trees, whatever. And then there was several, like the utility crews had already been out and blocked off certain streets. You can't go down here, you can't go this way, you can't go that way. So I needed to go to the post office, and my husband found a route for me that I could get out and go to the post office this morning. There was one way I could get out. So yeah, I was able to go to the post office, like I said, and the thrift store once I got out to a main road. But he did find that route for me. Thank goodness. You know, I did need to go to the post office for some orders, but I'm sure the people would have understood if I couldn't get out of my house, or off my street. Okay, so I've got 4. So long story longer. I'm just making this a long story, but anyway, everybody's safe. But that was a crazy turn of events, how the day was just so normal. And then we ended up having a tornado come so close to us. So I'm very thankful that it didn't really affect us. you know, and I'm glad I prayed because, you know, I'm sure, you know, prayer helps. So I said that quick little prayer, you know, don't let it come here. Please don't let it come here, Lord. And it did. So I'm just glad I prayed, you know, maybe that, I mean, I'm sure that you just never know, you know what I mean? So anyway, let's get down to these. So I've got them all back. This was my plan. And, you know, this is simple. This is going to be simple. Before I went through my, as I was getting these ready, pulling them out of that book, look how pretty already. I've got them backed with a file folder for journaling. And I'm just going to put a little tab on here. So I'm going to glue it. And I cut these as I was getting these things ready. I also went through my scraps and just cut out some little squares and kind of tab shaped pieces of fabric to use for tabs on these. And I picked out colors out of my scrap fabric that would go with these little pages, right? So let's pick some out, and I'm going to glue them on, and then I'm going to sew them on, and that's going to be it. These pages are already kind of a little bit distressed on their own. Now I might put a little bit just to disguise, like here, I either got to cut this little file folder here, or, you know, or put some distress on there so that you don't see that. You know, I mean, it's fine, but I don't want to see that division between the paper and the file folder, which I can see right here a little bit. So, but if that doesn't bother you, you don't have to do that. But let's see. So this is a little, what is this? A bluebird. Trying to see what section of the country this one's in. I'm not going to try to read that right now because I don't want to run out of time though. So this is, she's a bluebird, blue, and this color here. So I've got a couple things that would go with that. I could use this one and bring out that a little bit more maybe. See, here's a little bit bigger one. Let's use this bigger one on this one. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac, glue these down, and then I'm going to go sew them real quick so that I can finish these on video. Let me get my Fabri-Tac flowing. So just a little glue to hold it down while I'm sewing. And it doesn't have to be all glued together. They're going to be a little just, you know, together, but not glued together as far as this top part, the top tab part. And try to get it all nice and even here. And there we go, like that. See if I need to move it a little bit more before it starts drying. Okay, so something like that. And then I'll sew right across here in a minute. But that's what I'm talking about. This part's going to be open up here. That's not going to be glued together or anything. And this is just going to be sewn down. So there's one. So I want to make these in different orientations. Now this bird is kind of gray and black looking and white. So it doesn't really matter what color I put on here. Let me pick out one that is, let's see, what is this? I just used this one. So let's use this one maybe. I'm going to put this one on the side, so that if I have a little belly band or a side tuck pocket, you know, something like that, I can put it in this way. Okay, so that means I need glue here. And I just cut these shapes. I didn't plan which way these little tabs would go, these little fabric tabs. I didn't plan that. So I'm just kind of doing whatever I think will go. Okay, so I'll put that one about like that, and then fold this over. We'll have a little tab here. So super cute and super pretty and easy, right? Okay, that one's ready to be sewn. And you don't have to sew these. You can just glue them with Fabri-Tac, but I just want to sew them. So I used this one. Let's see, we've got orange and again gray and dark colors. So I've got a little blue one here. Let's put this one on here maybe. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't even really have to match. This one's a little wrinkled or something, but I'll see if I can straighten it out with my glue here as I put it down. I'm going to put this one on the top, so I'll do maybe 2 on the top and a couple from the side. Maybe I'll do the other one on the other side. And then I want to make some more. You know, I don't have time. I won't have time to make any more on video. But I do want to, you know, this could be a TV craft very easily. Not too many components that you have to take into the other room where you're watching TV with your friend or your hubston. Hubster. Hubston. I don't know what that is. That's a combination of something. Okay, so yeah, it could be a good little TV craft, couldn't it? Take your paper cutter in there, some book pages, some file folder, and there you go. Knock out a bunch of these. Okay, so all right, that one's, oh, I didn't put that on the side, did I? Oh no, I didn't want to put that one on the side. I said 2 top, 2 side, so this one would be the side. And I didn't use this one yet, so let's use this one here. Let's see which one might be the best. I guess this one would be okay. And I'll put this one over here. And this does have yellow, and she's got some yellow in right there, so that kind of goes. But really, it doesn't even really have to. Oh, let me put some more glue on this side. Yeah, I use my pinking shears to cut around these so they have a nice little pinked edge. So like this on this side. So we'll have one to put either or from either side. Okay, awesome, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go, and I've been dying to do this little craft. I've had this ready all week and never had time to do it. So I'm gonna go sew across these little tabs, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back and I am done with these. Okay, so did you guess while I was gone that I did a little bit more than I said I was going to do? I always do that. I pause the video and then it's like I get all these ideas, right? So I didn't just throw through the tab. I sewed all the way around, and I did a different stitch on each one. So this one is a zigzag, but it's a zigzag that has little stitches in the zigzag. So it's not just one stitch up, it's a bunch of little stitches, you know, in each zigzag. So, and I don't usually use that one, so I thought, let me try it and see how it looks and see what it does. I think I have used that one, but maybe only once. I usually kind of use the fancier stitches or the zigzag and the straight, and I don't use this one, so I thought I would try it. And I think, you know, of course, the stitching adds a lot to your anything. So that one's how that one looks. This one's just a regular zigzag that I usually use, my normal standard zigzag that my machine does. So that one is cute. And this one I decided to do messy stitching. So it's straight stitch, but it's 2 around. So in case, I mean, I'm sure most of everybody has heard of straight stitching. If you sew on tags and journal cards, you've done it before, or your journal pages. But all you do is you don't make your line straight. So it's purposeful messy stitching. And so what I did on this one, I just did one straight stitch all the way around where it was straight, you know. And then I went back the second time around and did the wavy one, like went back and forth around my straight one so that it was messy. So I love messy stitching. It's fun, and I think it looks really cool. And then this one is the other one with just a straight stitch. And they all are, I love them all really. You know, it doesn't matter what stitch you do. Just stitching just adds a lot to anything, right? So, but again, you don't have to do it if you don't like to sew, don't have a sewing machine. Just glue it down and be done. And you can always add faux stitching with a little marker or a pen around, you know, draw your stitches on. And then this one I might not do the other ones, or I have to go back and look and see if they need it. But I was going to go back and do a little bit of distressing just to cover up, because my bird page I didn't cut my file folder close enough. So I either would have had to go back and cut that off, or just cover it up with a little distress ink, and then it disappears. You know, you don't even see that difference anymore. And it's just kind of magical the way that happens. So, and then if you don't want your, now we've got this stitching around the back now. So when you turn it over to right, it's not so plain. But then you can also do a little distressing on this side to add a little something special on the back side. So I hope you enjoyed this little craft today. Let's just take a minute and finish off these. This one needs it because, again, it's the same thing. I can see my little piece of file folder there beside my bird page. But in case you have some of these books too and you didn't know what to do with them, you could do this, or you could always make them into a tag shape and cut your little angles or whatever you want to do. Put a little hole at the top and make them into, or you don't even have to put a hole, just put a tab like I did at the top. This one was actually a good one. I could have put a tab up here, but it was a good one to do on the side because this little bird goes right to the top. You know what I mean? Like this one, there's a lot of space, but this little bird goes right to the top. So you can also use that to decide which and where you're going to put your tab. So I hope today and tonight is less exciting. We don't have any more. We are expecting rain today. Oh, and one of my points on telling you my tornado story was I think it stirred up the pollen. Even though rain usually, you know, dampens down the pollen and kind of, you know, after it rains, it doesn't bother me because it's kind of washed away. But with all the wind, I think it stirred up the pollen. Yes, last night and this morning is just crazy pollen-y out there. So if you have a lot of wind like we did and you have allergies, watch out. You might have to take an allergy pill after that. So, or whatever you do for your allergies. Okay, so all right, everybody, stay safe, say a prayer that nothing bad comes your way like a tornado, and I'll see you in my next video. I expect to, I'm going to do the back of these too, but I expect to work on my, and I'm going to work on my sewing pattern journal. I have not worked on it since the last time I did a video and just had other stuff to do. So, you know, I don't tie myself down to any schedules. I mean, I do have certain days where I do my little collabs and stuff, so that is a schedule, but you know what I mean? It's stuff I want to do. So when I'm doing a journal, I don't rush and I don't try to, you know, do it on consecutive days. I just take my time. And I kind of find that I get new ideas that way too. Like I'm working on it. Okay, I haven't worked on it for a week maybe, but hey, maybe I got some new ideas, you know. So that's always good. Or maybe I remembered some things that I wanted to do or that I've done before. And I was like, oh, I haven't done that in a while. Maybe I'll do that in this one. I should, right? So it's always good not to, I find it nice not to rush through any journals that I'm making and just let the creative juices meld in my brain and so they could come out into my journal. All right, guys and friends, these are done now completely, and I really like how they came out, and I can't wait to make some more. I love the look of them, the birds and everything. I think they're going to be super pretty in any journal I put them in. So, and I'm going to make some of these and put them in my shop too. So if you know, do want any of this type of thing, I am adding, as I have time, Ephemera to my shops. Thanks for watching today. Everybody have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Happy crafting.